Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Bonino. I am from Ensenada, California, Mexico. I am 20 years old, and I want to talk about my history with my diagnosed autism grade 1. Here's the conference. The name is Against All the Odds. Who is Daniel Bonino? My story. A sports journalist without barriers. I am Daniel. I am 20 years old. I was born in Ensenada, and I have a bachelor degree in communications and public relations. Let's start talk about me. This is my family. I am the big boy from two kids. I am the big one. This is my sister that has 18 years old. This is my dad Alberto, who is 49 years old, and this is my mom who has 45 years old, and this is my family. The most important thing to me and my motivation, no doubt about. This is my family who always support me, who always give me love every time. In my family, they accept my diagnosis and who I am. My sister kind of didn't accept me because I was different, and she was like, "Oh, what's happening with my brother? Why he isn't normal? Why my brother isn't normal?" And he was like, "Why my brother isn't normal?" And she now kind of upset me, and my dad too. My dad doesn't battle with me with my diagnosis, with my meltdowns and crisis, but it's okay. I have family that I love, and I love them most. This is some of my beginnings. My first diagnosis was attention deficit hyperactive disorder when I was 5 years old, because when I was a kid, I used to run all over the places. I didn't like to go to the birthday parties. My family didn't want to take me because they were like, "Hi, Daniel is so hyperactive," and some kind of that. And they didn't take me to some parties because they were going to treat me bad or with discrimination. And then my transition from kindergarten to elementary school was delayed in some developmental stages in preschool, but they were not until I entered the first grade, and then I was expelled from that school, and I dropped it out. So which I mean I had to repeat third grade because I couldn't hold a pencil and cut with scissors because I learned to write on the computer. And I didn't get with the pencil thing to write. I don't have that. I don't have a custom rate to write with a pencil. When I was 6 years old to 12 6 years, I went to birth therapies from swimming, one of my favorite sports, gymnastics with trampolines and things like that. Auditory because I listen to music of the nature, and more therapies with a with metro thing with with clapping and that things. During those years, I visited too much neurologists and psychologists, and I used to control my pills with my pulse with medication. With a psychologist, I went because when I was 7 years old, I didn't like the school. I hate everyone. I hate my classmates. I had a bad relationship with everyone in my school, so I went with a psychologist to talk about my problems when I was a kid. And the diagnosis ranged from AD to autism. I had characteristics of both respective behaviors. So, like jumping, run over something, a preference for a single subject. Like, I love sports, I love baseball, I love football, I love soccer, and I love too much sports and watching sports, NFL, baseball, writing about them, reading about them. But before sports, I was a huge fan of the Hot Wheels cars. I used to collect tracks and things like that. And I had lack of eye contact because I was like this. I never get with the people in my life in elementary school, and poor socialization because my classmates didn't like the things that I like sports. They like like the comics, Star Wars, geek things like I say, Star Wars, comic books, Legos, and they make me bullying. In fifth grade was my worst year in elementary because I suffered through bullying. I suffered bullying. They say me, "Hey Daniel, we hate you. Hey Daniel." They make me left out. My classmates make me left out. They say me stuff like that, and that's what made me hurt my feelings. And I think, but I come back stronger from that. I recover from that. And that's my beginnings when I was a kid. This is the middle school, middle and high school. Changes system and school change because I was in a Montessori school. I changed it to a normal one, and I struggled to get along in the new school. I struggled with 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 the changes. I struggle with the changes of the school subjects, more teachers, more school hours, new classmates, and I got difficulty in socializing because when I was in eighth grade, I suffered through a lot because some of my friends didn't want to be with me. I meant to eat hot wings and in a hot wings in a restaurant. They say me no, or sometimes they don't understand me how I am. And in that achievements, I was a great good student. I had great grades on the tests. I skipped tests because I was so responsible on my schoolwork. I participate in English spelling bee contest during the all the 3 years of middle school because in Mexico we have 3 years of middle school from 7 to 8 to 9 grade, and and I have a grade point average. I have great grades, and then in high school I produced 3 books with teachers board and two short films, and I made the honor roll twice. The first book was called Días de Pasión. In English, Days of Passion. When I talk about my passion for sports. The second book was The Dream of the Cholo American, El Sueño del Cholo Americano in Spanish, because of the story of an immigrant soccer player who went through a lot from Tijuana to make it to La Liga MX. My third book was Obsession, the Problem of Man. That book I read during my sophomore slump mm, in my second year of high school when I fell in love with a girl that I got with a broken heart. I wrote a novel about that called Obsession, the Problem of Men, in español, in Spanish, Obsesión, el Problema del Hombre. And I made two short films, one about sports that I filmed in Petco Park, and the second about my life with autism called My Passion, My World, in Spanish, Mi Pasión, Mi Mundo. And I was awarded second place in my class. And I was the most with the biggest ovation when I get the prize because with during that project I choose my best friends to help me, my two female best friends, my my best friend to be the narration of the story, and I win the prize, and I was so happy with that. This is my journey in the media. Thanks to my short film and the people around me, I got my first interview with a Facebook page of baseball called Detrás de Home. That's because my short film make me more big with my stuff, and I make too much big things. I got my interview, then I got attention from a person from the newspaper. He had to interview me in my house when the COVID thing was starting, and my high school graduation was on the car, a driving graduation like in the US during the COVID-19 pandemic. I finished my high school, and at the time I entered the university, the college online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I was already in Ensenadas College, Universidad Xochicalco, but during because of the pandemic, too much students dropped because they don't want to do online class. So they offered me studying in Tijuana. I studied five, 5 quarters in Tijuana because I studied through quarters. And during that time, I met the boss of my favorite baseball teams, the San Diego Padres, the Spanish broadcaster Eduardo Ortega, who I admire, greatly admire. It's one of my heroes. I interviewed him from Zoom, from Zoom. Then There were the border restrictions. They invited me to Petco Park. The border restriction didn't help me because of the pandemic. And then he invited me to eat at a restaurant in Tijuana. Then on July 2022, he invited me to the press box to a tour and get an opportunity to appear at at Antesala de Béisbol, the pregame show of the Padres Spanish broadcast. The time passed, said I continued my studies until I finished my degree. I went from Ensenada to Tijuana twice a week with my dad to study during my last 4 quarters of the school. It was a challenge. Go every week to Tijuana for 1 year and 3 months from May of 2022 to August 2023 was a challenge, but I did it. I finished my degree. See some of my achievements. I collaborate during my practices on Periódico El Vigía on the school. I made a column about sports and a section on a show called Meta Deportiva called Sport with Berries in Spanish, Deportes sin Barreras. And in one occasion, through a YouTube ad of a US section called Sports is Life, in Spanish, Deporte es Vida, I submitted my story and I was selected to appear on Univision San Diego affiliate KBNT 17 because I will tell you the story. I contact Elias Awad, I send him my achievements and all that, and he saying, "Hey, Daniel, you want to come? And I want to Canada." I called him on the phone. He was like, "You want to do it on Zoom?" And I said, "No, I don't want to do it on Zoom. I wanted to go to the TV studios and the offices." So me and my dad, we approached a Tijuana trip to school. We stayed there in Tijuana. Then we went to the Univision studios very early. So early we went, and I got the opportunity to appear in the TV studios, talk with the media, talk with the president of the channel. It was a fun experience for me. And months later, in August 2023, I graduated with a bachelor degree in communication in public relations from Universidad de Chicago Campus Tijuana with a grade point average from 9.04 because in Mexico we grade from 5 to 10 and I got a great grades in school. And then I have a diploma in a course in broadcasting, and I'm looking for a job for a person like me, which isn't easy but not impossible. Being a channel or radio station talking about sports and things that I like, I want to do it. Currently, I'm currently participating in a program on the social media channel called AGP in Spanish AGP in the sports section with my program Sports Without Barriers in Español Deportes Sin Barreras. And I am the main host covering news topics in the world of sports, NFL, baseball, soccer, boxing, NBA. And I'm also looking, like I said, for a job opportunity in the media. And I am a sports broadcaster, but I am too a conference guy, and I make conferences in different schools, autism centers, talking about my autism life and choices I had in my life. Mm, with this condition, and I want to make a world more inclusive for everyone because I want the classmates to be empathic with his classmate that has a different condition like Down syndrome, autism, or disabilities, whatever it takes to make a world more inclusive. And now here's my Univision report about me. I'm going to play it, or you can look. I'm going to play it. and I this is a phrase of the legendary sports athlete Michael Jordan. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can accept not trying. Michael Jordan. This phrase reminds me when I got a meltdown, when I got mad, when something doesn't go that I want as planned, or when I suffer bullying in the elementary. I can accept failure, but I need to try it, so I can be big like Michael Jordan. Fight for your dreams. Take care of your mind. Fight for your dreams. You have a dream. Go through it. You want to have barriers. You want to have every battle, but you can not quit if you want to make your dream come true. Thanks for your attention.